Hey guys, this is Matthew Movies coming at you with something a little bit different. I mentioned earlier that I'm trying to branch out, and I'm principally discussing movies and pop finals, but I also I mentioned in the Defining Me tag video that Franklin F. M. McGinnis started that I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I thought I'd give talking about wrestling a little bit of a try. So last night, SmackDown aired on SmackDown Live. They call it now. Really goofy name, but it aired, and it was after 4 nights of a lot of wrestling. There was NXT Brooklyn 2, Summerslam, Monday Night Raw, and then SmackDown Live. It was just crazy how much stuff that they aired. I watched all of it, as I'm sure a lot of wrestling fans do, but I think only like the really big wrestling fans probably stuck around for all of it because it was just so much. Like that SummerSlam show was way too long. When you factor in like the 2 hour pre-show, was 6 hours, which is just insane. I know that they did something similar for WrestleMania, but I mean they're just killing their audience. And I think it really affected the show. Like if you watch SummerSlam, the crowd was dead throughout a lot of it, and I think it's because of fatigue. Like there was just so much of it. The best show of the four, I think. Was NXT Brooklyn too. I don't really know how you could say otherwise. Like that show was awesome. Had some amazing matches. Had some fantastic entrances. Like the matches, like the Joe and Nakamura was awesome. Bailey Asuka was awesome. Like pretty much all the matches really were awesome, except for the Ember Moon Billy Kay wasn't that great, but it was more of an introduction than anything else to Ember Moon. The entrances were so great. Like when Robert Roode came out, that was so great. His theme music is just fantastic. Best in the business at the moment, in my opinion. Just so catchy. Then fast forward to SummerSlam, and I thought it was a very meh show. It was like really. There was a lot of matches that didn't really get me going all that much. Styles Cena was great. The opener, the tag match between Jericho and Enzo and Cass was great. As always, Enzo and Cass got a great reaction, and Jericho and Kevin Owens are just such a great team, even though they've been together for such a short period of time. But like both title matches, I thought were pretty dull. And to be honest, I found it kind of puzzling that I really didn't care who won. I mean, it would have been cool to see Ziggler win. I've been a fan of his forever, but he's also cooled down so much that it would have felt kind of bizarre. Seth Rollins, I wasn't. I think he's great, but him getting the title again would have just been more of the same old, same old. I thought it was cool that Finn Balor got the title, but. I just feel like I think it's a great kind of jumping off spot for him, I guess, or would have been had he not been injured in the match. But I also feel like he hadn't been set up very well in the main roster yet, so I thought they were kind of jumping the gun. And the Lesnar Orton match, it's funny. Lesnar's great. I think he's super entertaining, but I find his matches are becoming kind of tedious. The ending certainly took me by surprise. I didn't really know what to make of that, and it was kind of the big talking point afterwards, and it certainly seems like it was all planned other than the sheer quantity of blood that was pumping out of Orton's forehead by the end of it. But just Lesnar matches, I just don't. I used to get really excited for them because how they're these were going to be brutal exhibitions, and that were like that. That first match he had with Cena, even though it was ridiculous that he lost, was just so unlike anything we'd seen in years. It was just so cool. But now he just over relies on the suplexes. Like I know his gimmick is Suplex City, but it's just like throwing a guy around is really cool. But when you do it in every single match, it becomes like just he's doing that again. Raw, not. Seemed to be a real hodgepodge. It seemed like they weren't. It seemed like they didn't know what they were doing as the show even went on. They had the opening segment where they had all these people come out demanding to be given a chance at the world title or the Universal title. Stupid name, terrible looking belt. But they had all these guys come out the demanding to be given a shot at potentially winning it. And then they set up a tournament, and there was people in the tournament that weren't out there, and then Enzo was out there, and he wasn't in the tournament. And if you ask me, he's a lot hotter right now than Neville is. So thought he should have been in there long before Neville was. And I hate the fact, like, I love Enzo and Cass, but Cass being put in the 4-way next week, I think is way too early. He's beyond, like, if they give Cass a title, that's just terrible. He is so not ready. One, like, you know, he's seen as a tag team guy still. Like, I know that they've kind of kept those two apart to a degree, like where they kind of can do their own thing and still be together, but he's still a tag team guy, I think, in most people's eyes, mine included. And even beyond that, I just don't think, like, Finn Balor he was thrust right to the world title picture and actually won the title, and it would have been really interesting to see where that went from there. But, you know, he'd spent years on top in Japan and wrestled all over the place, whereas Cass is, like, this is his first real shot at the big time, and I don't think he would be mentally prepared to shoulder that kind of weight. I think it would have been pretty bad. And, like, I love Kevin Nash just because I loved the NWO. The NWO was totally my jam. Wolfpack, I loved all of that. I mean, yeah, it did get out of control by the end, but I never stopped loving the NWO. But he reminds me way too much of Kevin Nash. Like, like he needs to do something about that hair, I think. I wouldn't cut it short because then he would look, like, really weird. But I don't know. There's something about his look that I think is just not main event caliber as of yet. And then you got the other three. You got Roman, and if Roman wins the title again, you know, that's just going to be such an awful move. I don't think anybody wants to see that. Seth, again, he's great, and seeing him, you know, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but it would also just be more of the same. Whereas if Kevin Owens wins, that will be exciting. That, like, as much as I was excited to see Finn Balor win the title, as I said, I was a little bit kind of wary of it to see how that would go. But I think Kevin Owens is just so set up to be. I mean, and I would love it if he kept the alliance, like if he kept the alliance going with Jericho. That would just be amazing. Like the two of them together still with him as the world champion. That would really add an extra dynamic to their partnership. But yeah, so coming out of that, you know, I'm very interested to see what happens next week. But the show I thought was kind of, you know, in the middle. SmackDown, I think it's funny because when they did the draft, I thought Raw had the much better roster, but I think SmackDown has consistently been the better show, other than that first week. It's just, I think it's much more entertaining, a lot less goofy. Like, you know, they don't have things like Universal Champions. They introduced 2 new belts, and they're very much similar to the new Universal title, where it's just like the big W, but the color scheme's way better, looks way cooler, and you know, the tag team belts look just like the pennies that do on Raw, but the color scheme just makes it so much better. So the belt designs are better. The storylines, I think, are more interesting. I'm not jazzed with. I'm happy to see Nikki Bella was able to recover, but I'd much rather see her in a less focused upon role. Like she if they give her that title, I'll be pretty disappointed. I'd much rather see it go to Becky or even like Alexa, or Natty for sure. But it would be like if they keep her and Carmella together like they've set up so far, I think that would be good. But I just, again, it's just more of the same if she gets put into that kind of role. And then to me, like the highlight every week so far has been Talking Smack, the post show. If you're not watching it, you got to watch it. Like last night, the Miz's promo was just fantastic, and you know, the guy had real tears in his eye. You could tell he really, really cared about what he was saying. And Daniel Bryan walking off stage, it certainly seemed like that he knew what was coming. I mean, you look at like the whole thing with Lesnar and Orton, and from all accounts, everybody knew what was coming, other than the people in the back. But if he didn't if that was planned, he certainly sold that perfectly. And if it wasn't, then it was a great reaction. And Renee Young as the host is just so good. Like her reaction to things, I mean, like there's no question at the very least that the Carmella attacking Nikki Bella was planned. Like I doubt very much she didn't know that was coming, but you wouldn't be able to tell from her reactions. She's just so great at her job. Yeah, so that's my thought on the week in wrestling. I wouldn't be surprised if none of the people who are on my subscribers list have any interest in wrestling, but I thought I'd give it a shot. I really enjoy wrestling, and I thought it'd be fun to be able to talk about it. So and it'd be great to get another grouping of fans as well who cross pollinate. That's I think that's pretty key too. So. And at the end of the day, it's all about just having fun. So hopefully you guys like this, and I certainly plan on doing it some more. So have a good week.